Hey guys, Wayndre here, and welcome back to Factorio, episode 4. So this first part is going to be a little bit, is going to be the last part that I have to actually voice over. So the next half, after the first 5 minutes, is going to be regular live footage. But in this episode, I want to get more stuff done. Now, previous to this, I've actually gone and I have set up copper production. I've gotten steel production set up as well. I haven't gotten them going yet, but before I do that, I want to expand our power system. Because I know we are actually, if I look here, we are running only about 600 kilowatts, so we're well within our range for production. So we don't really have to worry about, but because I don't want to worry about it later on, I want to add some more stuff into it. So I've already got stuff built. For it, I've got another boiler, 2 more steam engines, and I've got a pipe to connect it here. So I'm going to put it in, and I'm not going to put it there, obviously. But we're going to get this done, and that will actually increase our output to, I believe, I'm trying to think about, almost 4 megawatts. So, and that's going to get going. And now we have more power. So, the goal of this episode is to kind of keep everything going, get research continually going. I know I want to get copper production going because we are going to need it. And I'm pointing out here that there's a lot of extra coal there, so if we ever do run out of power or run out of coal production, we should be okay. So, but what I've also gone and done is I've moved the production of red science down here and set it up here so that it's actually using the same gear production as the conveyor belts, because I didn't want to build a completely brand new one. Plus, the conveyor belts should be being made all the time anyway, so it shouldn't be an issue. And they don't use as many gears as the conveyor belts, so it shouldn't be an issue. But now the problem is we're going to need green science, and that actually does take a bit of work. But getting everything together and everything working, that's going to be the trick for this episode. Getting copper actually started. I've got some more furnaces. I've also made some lights so that we can actually see what we are doing. Now, I'm going to put them in the corners just below the underground belts, just to kind of light up this area, because these areas are going to be important for just to make sure everything's working and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to put some of the designs I have actually incorporate lights into them as well. So once we get those set up, that won't be an issue. Or there'll be certain spots for it. So, but this is basically just so, like, when we zoom down and it's nighttime, we can actually see what we are doing. Now I'm setting up the lights in front of the pipes because they aren't really needed. Or that space is kind of just going to be dead. There's not going to be anything there. At least until we get to some of the other stuff. So this is going to be the end of the voiceover right now. I will be back with some live footage in a couple seconds. So see you guys then. Bye. Alright guys, we are back, and this time we are live. So what I want to do is I want to get the copper production started. So we're going to start here. As I said, or I don't think I said this before in the previous version of the recording. The grass disappears once you place stuff on it. So what I'm being careful about right now is the light posts. Actually, I'm going to go put those in right now. Now that I think about it. And there, and there. That one's already there. There. Okay, so now, stop it. And we have a couple extra, or one extra. So we'll go put this over in steel, because I want to start building that with any extra stuff we have. And then... there we go. Here we go. So now, we have our splitters. What I want to do is I actually want to break these off first so that they don't spread until we are ready. Spread and spread. There we go. So now we've got our production going. There we go. And now we should have copper coming out in full force because we actually do have plenty of it backlogged. So all of this line should start being backlogged and filled. And yep, we got copper coming out. Oh yeah. So when I have it come to this, oh shit, right here. Whoops, I missed. And then we've got our steel production over here. So like I said, we're gonna try and do a main bus kind of setup for these. We've got plenty of that. We've got our automation 2 being researched. We've got plenty going on here. What I do want to grab is I want to grab more of these. And I do want to make more of those. Because we are going to need those for the green science. So, what I want to do as well is I want to grab some copper. Yeah. More copper. As I said, we are going to need it. What am I missing? Oh, steel plates. What we see here, all the steel, or not steel, iron plates will come to me. So we've got our copper, we've got our iron. We're going to slowly start working on steel. We've got lights. We've already put that on lights. We've got one less assembly machine. So what I want to do is I want to start laying out how we are going to do our bus. Now, I want to bring all the lines down to about here first. I want to start our production units. Oh, there's a rock here. From a rock. Cool. So I want to start... I think I want to have... because if we look at our blueprints that we have here, so this one here is actually green circuits, early game. So I want to have that starting right above this. But I want to know where my lineups for all of these... oh, there's the research done. Cool. So let's do walls for right now. Keep that going. And then after stone walls, we'll probably... unfortunately keep this pretty stagnated for our research. So what I want is I want to start here. Actually, what we can use is our... so this is actually a balancer. It actually takes 4 lines and makes them balanced coming out. So it uses... it's actually pretty simple, but what I'm going to use it for right now is to actually lay out all of my lines that I'm going to use. So I'm going to have an iron. So just before this, I want it to be iron. I'm going to skip 4. Copper. Skip 4. Steel and brick. Skip 4. And then this one's going to be red circuits, green circuits. So if I go back into my inventory, grab this. I'm going to need that. So if I grab the 4, just 4, boop, boop, and boop. So now we're not going to use this as a balancer because we're going to have 2 things on this line. Oh yeah, and then one more. Sorry, I actually just thought about this. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Oh, okay. We're gonna let that stagnate. 1, 2. Okay. So now we're gonna put 4. Boop. And that's actually going to be our liquid line for all of our liquids. So we can actually take. No, I want that one. Yeah. The trick is getting everything lined up straight so it actually works properly. Oops. There we go. And there we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run our iron into this. There we go. So now we have iron going into our bus. We still have these making our transport belts, which is fine. Then we will run copper. Where's copper? Oh, shit. Too far. So copper will run this way. Now, yes, I do know I have multiple lines of each. So eventually we will have to make this a little bit better. Oh, too far. But we have our basic production now going for those. And then we're just going to do one there, one there. So these 4 will be that. Oops, I screwed that up. Downs. There we go. And then we just need more splitters. So we need this, that. So we need to grab sources. There we go. Now we should be able to build plenty of splitters. So this is kind of how our main bus is going to be set up for now. I did bring it down a little bit further than probably is needed, but I want to make sure we have enough room to expand when we do. Whoops. Not how I want to do that. There we go. So if we bring the steel line, it's going to be steel. Whoop. All the way up here. So this is more primarily set up for when we do our, like when we get more production. So that we won't have like 2 lines constantly craving something. And then we'll put the stone. So this will be the stone brick. So we'll have 1 line of stone, 1 line of stone brick on this as well. Oops, no tree. This tree's getting in the way a lot. Whoops. What the hell happened there? Oh. Another tree. There we go. Actually, this is going to be stone brick, so I want it here. And then I'll have to do something special with the stone. Because I'll have to probably break off. Yeah, because then red and green circuits will go on this one. So, speaking of those, we'll go into our, there we go. Now what I also want to do, and this is where my my use of light posts come in handy. So, what I want is I want to run I'll run the light pole or electric poles down this way, and then once we get to the splitters, yeah, this line here will be our
start to where we put everything, because it's just before, or it's just after all the balancers. So, and we can landfill in that area over there, because we don't need a lot of green circuits from the get-go. But what I also want to do is, after the liquids, I want to have this post as being our, whoops, not what I wanted. This is going to be our power railway. So between here, once I go here, this will be the power that all of these sort of start up in. Because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put pathing between here and have this as a little walkway, so I can actually just run straight down and be able to get to everything fairly quickly. So I'm going to start it here, and I usually, what I do is I line up the first conveyor belt just under the first set of, or the second set of lampposts, or electric poles. Now I want to give it some room, because usually, sometimes when you do these, you want to have them coming in either side of the belt. So I want to make that room, and so I'm going to leave 4 spaces. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 spaces between there and the next one. So now you can see we have got our green circuit protection. We are going to put, I'm going to put down one more just to kind of show you guys. So this is actually, so these 2 first ones, I'll put that down and kind of show you guys. So these 2 first ones actually bank off of this conveyor belt. So you see it starts here, but then you saw that little overlap that we had here, which is nice to have. So what we feed in is we actually feed copper here. Ooh, so here's going to be the issue that I just thought about. Is we are only going to have to be able to have a 4 block wide there. But that, you know what, that should be okay. I mean, it doesn't look the best, but oh well. So we actually do have one of our assembly machines, so we can use that and actually place it right here. Yeah. And we take our inserters, place them in the this, and now you guys can kind of see why blueprints are so useful. So I can place my electric poles, get those all pretty and set up. There we go. Now there are a few things missing, unfortunately, from the blueprint, but we're gonna add them in as we go along. I think it's this one? Yeah. Is it? Yes, it's this way here. Okay. There. There. Oops, and now we are out of electric poles. So is it wood that we're missing? No, it's copper. And actually, I have copper ore in my inventory. So I'm going to go stick that in there. And we'll probably make like a little bit, like kind of a cheap, like that'll balance out that line. And then these 2 we don't want balanced, because they're 2 separate entities, or 2 separate materials. I have a lot of stone in my inventory. And I'm actually running low on conveyor belts, and I'm going to need a lot of them for coming up. Alright, so we are backlogged a bit on all of our stuff, which is not a bad thing. Don't ever assume that because you're backlogged, you're doing something wrong. What did I come up here for again? Oh yeah, I was going to put the copper away. I'm not dying for resource space, but oh no, it's there. Okay. We do need to put more just to get these going. Again, so we have that backlog that we need, or that we're going to need. Oops. Alright. Now we need to make some more, but we don't have enough electric plates. We need iron. Now, this is kind of what I want to work on getting the mall up and running, because that will actually keep us from having to build a lot of these kinds of things. So instead of having to run around, get the resources, build them ourselves. So now actually, now that I think about it, we can actually get rid of this copper production here and whatever else it has built in it. Because we are finally fully automated in both iron and copper production. And I think this is where I'm going to leave this episode off, because we are running a little bit late on this one. And the dogs have just started barking, so it's a great time to cut it off. So, if you guys like the video, please leave a like down below. And leave some comments of what you like in the series, what you guys think I should do, and some kind of tips and tricks that you might suggest for me doing. Like some builds or whatever, or how I should be properly setting this up, because I'm probably not setting this up right, but that's how I'm doing it. So, and then of course, as always, hit the subscribe button. New videos pretty well often on my channel. Check out the new stuff. Check out the more Factorio when it comes out. And I promise I will remember to turn my mic on for the next recording. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.